Fox News poll shows Americans saying Biden is more mentally sound than Trump to serve as president. The Trump campaign and many of its allied social media accounts have spliced together dozens of videos appearing to show Biden struggling to form sentences. Oh, Trump wants to fucking accuse Biden of struggling to form complete sentences? Here's one of those stroke-riddled interviews the president gave in case you need a reminder. Look, having nuclear, my uncle was a great professor and scientist and engineer, Dr. John Trump at MIT, good genes, very good genes, okay, very smart, the Wharton School of Finance, very good, very smart. You know, if you're a conservative Republican, if I were a liberal, okay, if I ran as a liberal Democrat, they would say I'm one of the smartest people anywhere in the world. It's true. But when you're a conservative Republican, they try, they do a number. That's why I always start off, went to Wharton, was a good student, went there, did this, built a fortune. You know, I have to give my credentials all the time, because we're a little disadvantaged. But you look at the nuclear deal, the thing that really bothers me, it would have been so easy, and it's not as important as these lives are. Nuclear is so powerful, my uncle explained that to me. Many years ago, the power, and that was 35 years ago, he would explain the power of what's going to happen, and he was right. Who would have thought? But when you look at what's going on with the 4 prisoners now, it used to be 3, now it's 4, but when it was 3 and even now, I would have said it's all in the messenger, fellas, and it is fellas because, you know, they haven't figured that the women are smarter right now than the men, so, you know, it's gonna take them about another 150 years. But the Persians are great negotiators, the Iranians are great negotiators, so, and they just killed us. This is horrible. So that's why Trump is tweeting random right-wing Twitter users this morning that question Biden's mental health. I'm running for Senate. Oops, I meant president, haha, how embarrassing. Biden has anti-IA. Let's inject everyone with disinfectant and UV light. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Actual genius and literal messiah. It is indeed a fortuny that Trump mispronounces everything from Thailand to Yosemite. Who is the douche voting for Trump after he called our vet loser, sucker, dope, and babies? https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v equals lubix50zvy5g and feature equals share, https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v equals lubix50zvy5g and feature equals share, show up and vote. Right-wing folks are lying on polls. Being mentally sound is a quality I like in a president. The Manson family is more mentally sound than Donald Trump. I'm hopeful, but we all must turn out to vote for Biden. Biden doesn't have dementia, he stutters. Everyone is giving him a hard time because he stutters. How delightfully American. I mean, who isn't more mentally sound than Trump? So is my paperboy. This gives me hope that many people are still believing the evidence of their eyes and ears. Trump isn't mentally sound enough for anything. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. I'd rather vote for a well-meaning person with dementia than a narcissistic sociopath. A CNBC poll in 6 swing states showed voters thought neither was mentally fit. https://www. CNBC. com/2020/09/10/2020 election news. Voters see Trump Biden as mentally unfit to be president. HTML. President Cheeto has dementia and anyone with a brain can see it. People trying to claim Biden has mental issues are just projecting or pushing Russian propaganda. I mean, the mildew in my shower is more mentally sound than Trump. I believe that the Dems would actually hold Biden accountable if he was president and mentally unfit. The Democrats are not a Biden cult in any way. How are 48% of people that fucking stupid? He's the president and he tweets like a teenage girl. He'll be equating Democrats with Antifa and hinting they should be murdered by real Americans within 30 days. I agree that Biden is infinitely more mentally sound than Trump, but also all of us are more mentally sound than Trump. Biden is shot. I'm telling you he's shot, Trump told rallygoers without evidence last week in Minnesota. There's something going on. I wonder if one of his crazier supporters will take this as an order? Flushed face. Ha ha ha. Holy shit. How dumb are conservatives? They're trying to say Biden isn't mentally sound. And they back Trump? Holy shit. Trump lingered last in line for brains. And the one he got was kinda rotten and insane. You'll see a Trump tweet later saying, "No wonder Fox News is losing ratings. Fake polls are meaningless. Sleepy Joe Biden doesn't even know he's alive. Joe stays in his basement while I actually work to bring us back to the greatest economy the likes of which no one has ever seen. Best recovery numbers in history. Sleepy Joe's agenda is made in China, mine is made in America. #mega. I think a combination of him listening to his competent and intelligent advisors and trusted experts is a lot better than Trump's paid-off advisors and profit-driven experts. Never have I seen a more idiotic set of professionals who ruin education, science, finance, and health. The only real experts are made into targets by the Trump administration like Fauci. I'm a far cry from a true Biden advocate and supporter, originally with Bernie, and think Biden is way too moderate. I'm voting for him in November, but I fucking hate it. That being said, a couple weeks ago I decided to start watching him give remarks and do events live instead of lapping up the sound bites and out of context clips I would usually see on Twitter. I have to say, it has completely changed my perception of him. I used to think he was a bumbling idiot who definitely had dementia. After listening to him speak for about an hour and a half straight, as well as thoughtfully take notes while listening to others speak for half an hour straight in Kenosha, I realized that was mostly the result of that leftist Twitter discourse. Recently, he was asked if he agrees with calls to charge the officers involved in Jacob Blake's shooting, as well as those involved in Breonna Taylor's shooting. He said yes to Blake's officers, and Breonna Taylor as well. People took that clip completely out of context and made it sound like he would have charged Breonna Taylor herself, but if you were watching it live and heard the framing of the question as well as his full response, it was so damn obvious what he meant. And yet leftist Twitter took it and ran with it, even sharing versions posted by Trump supporters. That's when I decided I absolutely could not rely on headlines and outrage clips for my perception of Biden. And, in fairness, I feel the same about Trump, but the difference is that Trump's own words, even in context, are absurd to me. That's not a high bar. If you put a 10-year in charge, he'd do a better job than Trump because a 10-year would defer every problem to someone that knows more than themselves. Trump on the other hand consider himself more an expert than even the experts on every subject. Let me put it this way. Biden is someone who is presidential, but is also showing his age. Trump is mentally ill, and to see someone with his condition in a position of such power should be terrifying to everyone in the US and the rest of the world. It's not the only step, but it is the first step. If you're an American, make sure your voice is heard by voting on or before November 3, 2020. Register to vote, https://www.turbovote.org, here, 2 minutes. Check registration status, https://www. Headcount.org/verify voter registration/ here, 60 SECS. It's your vote. It's yours. It's a low bar, but yet, I have bacteria in my belly button more mentally sound than the Russian asset. And less dirty. 47% of Americans are not mentally sound to vote. The fact that Trump thinks Biden is using drugs because he actually sounds like a leader is so laughable. Trump is going to be pardoning many friends he can make $1 from before he needs new digs after January.